Carmelo Anthony for first-degree murder. He's accused of stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a Frisco ISD track meet earlier this year. Anthony was 17 at the time of the stabbing, and he's being tried as an adult. The Collin County District Attorney's Office released a rare video statement about the indictment.
When something like this happens at a school event, it shakes people to the core. But let's remember that the justice system works best when it moves with steadiness and principle. That's what we're committed to, and that's what this case deserves.
Anthony's defense attorney also put out a video statement reiterating Anthony's claims that he acted in self-defense.
We expect that when the full story is heard, the prosecution will not be able to rule out the reasonable doubt that Carmelo Anthony may have acted in self-defense.
The case has gained national attention and set off a social media firestorm. Much of what's swirling online is misinformation. The full story likely won't come out until a potential trial.
There's certainly a lot more to learn. The indictment really focuses on what we would call the elements of a crime.
Russell Wilson is a former Dallas County prosecutor who's not involved in this case. He says the misinformation could be one reason why both sides chose to record statements on such a procedural matter.
I just think it's a reflection of the serious nature of the case and the heightened public interest.
Austin Metcalf's father, Jeff Metcalf, sent us a statement about the indictment. It says, quote, "I am pleased that we are moving forward. With the first-degree murder indictment, it now goes into the court system. I fully believe that justice will be served for Austin Metcalf. I look forward to the forthcoming trial, but it will never bring back my son." It will be up to the court to set a date for the trial. In the meantime, the defense and prosecution will prepare their cases. The defense will see what information the state has gathered and will do their own investigation.
Certainly, there will be a lot more things happening in between now and then, but certainly when the jury trial does come, the world will be watching.
All right, I'll let Doc lead with this one.
Without giving away too much of my personal life, great on me personally, I've dealt with some situations similar to this situation, and I always tell you, you can't believe everything people say, everything the prosecution say, whatever they put in the news. It's a fine line for self-defense, even for whatever you think it is or wherever you at. It's a fine line, and if you play your cards right, it'll work out for you. So,
yeah. King J,
You really want my answer on this?
bring it.
Hey, look, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Boo fucking who? What about Logan Sharp in Georgia? What about him? You want me to cry for your children, but you don't cry for mine. You want me to feel for your children, but you don't feel for mine. What about Logan Sharp? A 7-year-old child they ran over and refused to charge that white man. No justice for him, right?
What was
So you want me to cry for this dude after we know that he bullied and antagonized this man and he told him to leave him alone, and then you walked up to him and got what you deserved? That's your fault. Come to me when I see indictment papers for the person that ran over Logan Sharp.
I don't want to get too much into it, but what was the reason? I gotta look that up.
So from what I heard, the young man went under a tent. The twin then approached him and told him that he wasn't wanted in the tent. Carmelo decided that he wanted to stay in the tent.
I'm saying the Sharp. We said Logan Sharp.
Oh, Logan Sharp, he's a 7-year-old boy. He was walking to the play park with his sisters and his siblings. And this dude, because we know YT America has a drug problem, when they pulled his autopsy, or not autopsy, but when they ran his system, he had, I don't know if we could say it, but he had the F word in him. Y'all know what I'm talking about, don't y'all?
Yeah.
He was on all types of different drugs, and the prosecutors in Georgia refused to prosecute this man. I don't care. That's a 7-year-old baby that was going to a playground. You telling me you're not going to prosecute him, but you want me to cry for your baby in Texas? Man, fuck him.
Slim.
Yeah, man. Sad situation overall. Lock that nigga up. That's the first thing I'm gonna say. You don't bring a weapon on school premises because all children are at jeopardy. The only reason it's highlighted because it's black and white. This actually happens every day in the hood. So at the end of the day, I'm looking at it as propaganda, and it's designed to turn up, you know, the people that run off emotion. So with that being said, I don't look into that story because Brody shouldn't have had the knife on school premises.
Was it confirmed to be a knife? I seen a couple people threw it out that it was a track. It could have been a track spike or something like that too, though.
That
Was
I
it
don't
confirmed
know.
as a knife? Because some people was throwing out saying he used a track spike to stab him with.
I don't know. I mean,
man, we all know when we growing up in certain areas. I don't care what nobody say. We all kept something on us.
Now to Doc's point,
I can only talk to my own experience. I grew up in a rough area, and if you fuck with me,
it's not confirmed.
Now to Doc's point, if that's a situation, like, because I'm gonna keep it G, I'm from the projects too. If it's a bottle on the ground and it's going down, it's self-defense at that point. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? So it could be, you know, that's why I say all the facts come out. You never know.
If he had that shit in his pocket, or if he had that shit in his bag, it's considered a weapon on school premises. And you know how it go, even with drugs, they don't play that. You know what I mean? Like you should be able to go with the hands if you're at school.
Not at my school, boy.
Yeah, I know those days is over with. I know they don't fight no more because everybody's scared to be a man.
But I wouldn't even say
exactly.
We gotta look at the overall picture though.
You said what?
We gotta look at the overall picture. You gotta think about it from his perspective. I know the way I think, if I go to a tent and you're there, and you there with your brother, I know I'm getting fucked up because I come from a place where if one of us fight, we all fight.
So you unalive one?
For sure.
Nah, son, you throw the hand.
Sure.
Well,
for sure. You think I'm gonna wait around for y'all to jump me?
Nah, we did it. I've been through it. I had to. I caught the biggest, baddest one and whooped his ass, and I ended up getting my ass whooped in the end. But somebody got their ass whooped. We didn't pull out.
I can only tell you from my experience. I grew up in a house.
What happened when you the girl who go to Mexico with her friends and they beat her to death?
Say it again.
I know you're talking about the girl that was in the freezer.
Yeah, the girl went to Mexico with her friends and they beat her to death. You know what happened then?
That's her friend's fault.
Yeah.
If she'd have picked something and went across the head and killed one of them, well, you never know how it's gonna go. When you come to protecting yourself, you gotta go all the way. It's either all the way or no way.
But I'm saying you taking the consequences that come with that too. Because it just depends on where you at. Because if you're in California, it's almost like you gotta die first and then come back and then defend yourself. So I mean, it just depends on where you at.
Gotta be willing to do it all.
They so weak out there. Any aggression, you going to jail just for defending yourself.
It's only highlighted because it's race. At the end of the day, when they start highlighting us killing us, or unaliving us, that's when I'm gonna look into it. But at the end of the day, to me, this is propaganda. You know.
But see, I hate statements like that, and the reason why I hate statements like that because we know crime correlates to poverty, right? So if we know crime correlates to poverty, what is the most poverty-stricken population in America? We know America, when we talk about the black community, for years and decades, when we go back to slavery, has never had the proper resources to fund itself because the government continues to perpetuate racist policies and red line black communities, which keeps us out of generational wealth, which then makes more poverty, which creates more crime. We have to address issues.
You know some slaves today?
See, and I hate when you say that, because when we say, do we not have no slaves today? But we have to talk about what? Slavery, post-Reconstruction, Jim Crow.
What's slavery?
I just answered your question though.
My grandma remember going to the back of the stores downtown where we live at now and going shopping. She remember white and black water fountains. I'm from Savannah, Georgia. She'll tell you, she'll go to the store, but she can't unlive it. To her, it's still the same world. She still see it the same.
That means you're what, two generations away? And then at that same time, we still saw what? Racial banking, which means what? We're still locked out of wealth. Let's stop lying to ourselves, man.
You're not locked
Because
out of wealth.
you're saying, hold up. You're talking about a special, exceptional few. Yes, there's always going to be a few that can beat the odds.
It's the exceptional few of white people. Not it's the majority of white people are broke. What are you talking about?
It's that mindset that keeps you stagnant, bro.
Yeah, right now the way the laws are set up, it is up to you whether you're rich or not. Are there obstacles? Yes, there's obstacles in everything. You can't just go to the top of a mountain. You got to hike up. You got to be.
They got a 500-year head start on the hike.
Do what?
Thank you. You can't compare
500 years head start on the hike.
That don't mean it was a lot of people that had a head start past LeBron James.
It's not the same.
But he's considered one of the best now. It is the same.
LeBron James still works for people who,
as you said, exactly. There you go. You work.
But you're sitting here trying to compare
exactly what I just said. He had an obstacle. What was that? To work for it.
He's not comparing it.
LeBron he works for
analogy,
people
not
who
a
probably
comparison.
talent will never be the same.
Do what?
He works for people whose talent at this would probably never be the same. And even though he's the greatest at it, they'll never had that talent, but he worked for them.
I mean, go ahead.
What I want to add, what we didn't talk about is the GoFundMe's for like people based on race. The guy that choked the guy in the subway, they gave him a whole bunch of money. Then they gave Carmelo Anthony a whole bunch of money. Then they gave the chick that called a kid with autism, the N-word, a whole bunch of money. So there is some type of money being made based on racism in America through these like GoFundMe type exchanges. So it is some underlying like this is about race type of thing. So
I think you're a fool if you ever say that politics and money has nothing to do with racism. You're absolutely being blind. You don't want to see the truth, and if you don't think that affects other parts of our community, yes, there's always going to be a exceptional few like myself that work out of the community you come from. But everybody doesn't have that willpower. And how can you compare a group of people that don't have any hurdles? You're telling me to run the 100-meter dash with 60 hurdles in front of me, while my white counterpart has no hurdles. Of course he's going to beat me.
Oh my goodness.
It's crazy. You know what? Some people you gotta let them just.
Y'all keep saying that, but y'all not actually. All y'all keep saying is willpower. But that's not realistic.
Do you realize like there's over half, especially black males, that make good wages, live in the suburbs, and then we sit here and say we're held back. Yeah, there are, like somebody in the comments just said something about racial lending. Yes, there are hurdles. I know that. I'm not saying racism don't exist. I know it exists, but I don't give a fuck at the end of the day. I am that much of a warrior. And if you're not, that's on you. You shouldn't be teaching your kids. You should be teaching your kids, you know what? That shit is out there, but you better watch out and you better figure out how to go around it because it's out there. The civil rights law has been passed. Everything is equal. You just got to go out there and get it. You can either go out there and get it, you know what? And some people don't. Some people will try. That's even white people. White people try all their life and end up on the street corner begging. I see a lot more panhandling.
But see, you can't. See, this is my rebuttal for that. For you to say it like that, oh, well, white folks try and they still end up, they don't have any hurdles. How can you compare the two?
They don't have hurdles. Yes, they do.
You can go into the bank. Hold on. Give me a second. And this is the example.
We're not in heaven, bro. Everybody have hurdles.
They don't.
That's how
they
you
don't
look
have a hurdle compared to me. They don't have a hurdle.
What can't you do that a white man can?
This is what I'm going to say.
All right, give me an example. Hold on.
Hold on. The first thing a black person to say is you don't know what it's like to be a black person. But you'll sit up here and say white people don't have hurdles. Are you white?
I don't want to be. I love my skin.
Okay. Everybody has hurdles. What are you going to do with your life? Why are we worried about them? What are you going to do with your life?
You got to stop playing with it. They don't have any hurdles.
Nothing.
When have you heard? Hold up. And I'm going to quote 2023, Navy Federal. They got sued because they refused to give 50% of the black applicants for mortgages to get a damn house.
Guess what?
50%. Hold up. But when you walk into that same bank, when you walk into the same bank as a white man, you got that damn mortgage.
Guess what?
That is a hurdle.
That was a
My
consequence.
white counterparts don't have to deal with that.
They got sued.
I'm gonna say on my own account, with me trying to commission, I had to be 30 times better than my damn white applicant. That means I had to go to school. I had to get better grades than them to even compete with them. And I'm talking about motherfuckers that had C averages, and they're on the same playing field as me. And you're gonna tell me that's equal?
Well, don't you feel better? Don't you feel better? You got an A and you got a C.
That's mediocre. But you're telling me they have the same opportunity as me.
Don't you?
You're telling me they should have. Hold up. You're saying
embrace that though.
Hold up. You're saying. Hold up. This is what I'm saying. You saying they deserve to have the same. Hold up. This is what I'm saying. What you're literally saying is that a white man with a C average and I have all A's should have the same playing field as me, and that's equal.
Yeah, accept it.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Hey, it is what it is. I'm not gonna cry about it. You're crying about it.
That's the difference.
I'm not crying about it because guess what? I done had sleepless nights. I done had sleepless nights where I didn't go to sleep and I've been up for 72 hours and I did what I had to do. But what I'm saying is not equal. And I'm not going to sit out here and lie to another black brother and tell him what he has going on is equal, because it's not. And I tell my young brothers that I deal with on a daily basis that they got to work 80 times harder than these motherfuckers. They got to do more than these motherfuckers. That in its definition is not equal. If I have to put in 90% and you only get to do 60.
Keep telling them that shit.
Yeah, tell them that. Make sure you tell them they not
that shit. For real.
Tell them they warriors.
Us. That's why the DNA is on top. Because shit like that.
Yep. I'm glad I got to work harder.
You know the blueprint. You just mad at it.
Hey, King, this is what
you're right about that. I am mad at it because for me to be dealing with other black men and y'all saying it's equal when I literally just told you and you said, yeah, you're telling me it's okay for a group of people to be able to get C averages and be compared to me when I have more knowledge than you. I do better than you when we talk about physically and academically. That in its definition is not fair.
So King, you was talking about becoming an officer or an NCO?
An officer. I'm getting ready to commission.
There you go.
I think what King is saying.
What you mean?
I think one of King's biggest points is that if a system was never put in place with you being thought of as, a person, a human, the system that placed in America was never put in place for us. So it's never going to be equal. So, I agree. I understand what he's saying for sure.
And that's all that's all I'm asking for. I just want everybody to acknowledge, especially as black men, all of us, to not go out here and paint this narrative. It's fair, because what y'all are doing is y'all leading the next into
nobody ever said
destruction.
anything was fair. Life is not fair.
You literally just said it was fair.
No, I said
you literally just said that.
I said the laws are equal. That's what I said.
They're not.
Now,
they're not. If I have to write a law for somebody that treats you like a person, that's fair.
I'll let you go. Let me go. When I say equal, the laws are equal. Now, if somebody do some bullshit like the banks you're talking about, they got punished for that. But it's like y'all ignore that. They got sued and had to pay up for that. And the laws change. Y'all act like when shit happens, there's no consequence for it. There is. If they break the law, a lot of times there's punitive damages for that.
So if you believe the laws are equal, right? But if there's over policing in our community or all of these things are used to help, these laws are equal, but these laws are enforced separately for us as it and for them. I say them. That's not equal. You see what I'm saying? Because they're enforced different. Over policing in the black community has been a thing since the 70s, the 60s. The drug import in the black community has been crazy since the government started shipping guns down to South America in the 70s and 80s. So, I mean, you may think the laws are equal, but the way the laws are enforced are at a disadvantage because we are incarcerated at much higher numbers when they're at a much higher population.
So you say over policing is the crime higher in the cities or not?
you would get a crime because you're in that community. Studies have shown that they do the same amount of drugs at the same rate. They do the same amount of crimes. There's just no one there to catch them.
Where at?
In their communities. There's no
Hey,
police
look,
in their
let me ask you
communities.
this question. We know for a fact that white communities are under police more than black communities, but they still hold up. Even with that fact being known, they still commit 80% of the sexual assault that happens. So imagine what would happen if they were policed on the same level as a black man or a black woman.
So
that number would probably be astronomical.
You gonna put police at people's house? Or
They
do
put them at your house.
Or they happen in your front yard?
Thank you. This is what I'm talking about when we talk about
equal. They ain't come to my front yard. I don't have an issue with the police.
They had a mini station. They had a mini station in my neighborhood.
I moved to the city with the most police. I don't have an issue with the police.
Well, this has been a big one. The Black MAGA wanted some smoke. King J came with it, and I put some icing on it. If y'all watch it right now, subscribe and press that notification bell.
All right, I'm gonna get to the main event. For Gray punished me for going too long.
Well, you asked for
yeah,
the debate. Now you got King J here.
Yeah, y'all know Gray be putting sanctions on me, man. Nah, bullshit. All right.